Hello, this is Ghosty speaking, and welcome to the video. Sea of Thieves posted a trailer for their upcoming Season 8, and I want to talk about it, so here we go.
It's time to put your skills to the test!
So, off the bat, we get a pretty good look at the ships when they're representing their respective companies. The whole season is going to center around this battle between Athena's Fortune and the Reapers. Since Flameheart is finally here, after years of waiting, Flameheart is finally here, and they're using him as an actual villain, which is something to look forward to. And shout out to them figureheads. The glowy shit looks cool.
In the battle for the Sea of Thieves, explore thrilling new locations.
New locations in this game are always a kiss on the cheek. I'm not sure if this is an entirely new place, but the trailer does hint at something that we're already familiar with. But regardless, it's a new place, and it looks hella cool, so.
And earn some incredible cosmetics.
This may or may not be for everyone, but cosmetics are a big part of the game and one of my favorite parts about it, and that's why I even like the game. But this right here is something that a lot of people have been waiting on for a while now, and they're finally adding it. We'll get into more detail about it later, so I'll let the trailer keep going, but just wait for that.
So load the cannons and sharpen your cutlass as we explore the depths of Sea of Thieves.
I would skip this shit because I used it in the intro, but they showcase one of the new things, which is actually being able to go underwater and come up with the ship, which is probably one of the coolest things. But if you couldn't tell by now, this is going to be a major PvP season. It's all centering around this massive battle, not only that we've been waiting on for so long, but also in the in-game world too, which includes this.
You'll be fighting for one of two opposing factions. The Guardians of Fortune, who are loyal to the Pirate Lord and his allies, and the Servants of the Flame, who pledge themselves to Flameheart and the Reaper's bones.
So like it just mentioned, you could pick a side and fight for them. You could fight the opposing players and the opposing side as much as you want, as long as you're representing the side that you pick, which is pretty cool. We have had some experience with this, with emissary flags, but it's not just like this. Again, Flameheart is the game's main antagonist, so it was going to be something big, regardless of what they did with them. But so this is pretty cool to see. And this, especially though, I want to point out, thankfully, thank God, you can finally go into this like underground section of the Reaper's hideout, which we'll get into. But finally.
Crews who join either faction can choose to represent them while either going about their normal pirate business, or actively hunting and sinking ships of the opposing faction. And this all begins with the Hourglass of Fate.
You already know they had to make some cool ass name up for this mythical hourglass thing. It's literally just an hourglass, but it's still pretty cool.
Found on the captain's table of each ship, you and your crew can use it to choose which faction you wish to fight for. Though be warned, by voting to represent a faction, a crew is effectively marking themselves as ready and willing to engage in PvP combat. This means that you can be actively hunted by ships of the opposing faction. But if you want to go on the offensive and hunt opposing faction ships yourself, then look no further than the war map on the captain's table. Use it to seek out a foe, and then dive below the waves.
So firstly, this is pretty cool. I have to admit that. This whole like sailing underwater and emerging from the waves thing is pretty dope. This whole Fishman Island reference, it is cool, and we've been waiting on this for a while. But I think it is only for the purpose of a loading screen, and it's just loading in for the battle. So you and the crew and the ship can't go skinny dipping whenever you want. But I understand why. It's cool that they even added this. They literally just could have made us sail to wherever we had to battle at. But it is pretty cool that they made this, and we have another loading screen, I guess, which is pretty cool, just underwater. Hopefully this opens up the possibility for more underwater areas that we could sail to, but that's for another time. But for this battle, if you choose to battle in this like sequence, you're going balls deep, and there's no way to pull out. There's no escape, and it's either sink or be sunk. As you can see, there's literally an area of field that you cannot leave, which is pretty cool.
If you stray out of bounds, the Hourglass of Fate will start to become unstable, and you'll see a warning urging you to return to the fight. If you continue to leave the area, your hourglass will be destroyed, sinking your ship, and your opponent will be declared victorious. Winning battles by sinking opposing faction ships will reward you in several ways. Each successful battle will make your hourglass of fate more valuable, so the more ships you can sink, the more gold you receive when you vote to leave the battle at an outpost.
So this part is pretty much just talking about how the hourglass works, and you do more, you fight more, you sink more, and, well no, you don't sink yourself, you sink other ships more, and it pretty much benefits you and your hourglass and your position in the team of whatever team you're on, pretty much. And it goes on to say that if you increase the number, your level of the hourglass, as you can see, like the streak, and you get sunk from that, people will get more rewards off of the higher level that you are, pretty much. And it's not really a surprise that they added a level system to this. They've done it before, especially with emissary flags. But speaking of emissary flags, if you've ever seen a Reaper emissary and shit your pants over it, oh boy, get ready for this, because I don't know what to tell you.
So you can expect to find courageous crews heading your way to try their hand at sending you to the ferry. Faction champions can also choose to hunt crews larger than their own. So if you're an ambitious solo slipper ready to prove yourself, this is the perfect way to test your mettle against some more fearsome foes.
Big W for content creators right there. Well, for the PvP ones, not me.
Though sinking ships isn't the only way to earn allegiance. When you bring treasure aboard a faction ship, you'll gradually increase your treasure grade. The more valuable the item you bring aboard is, the more your treasure grade will increase. And if you can successfully defend against and defeat rival faction ships while this treasure is on board, you'll earn even more allegiance for each ship sunk. When you leave the battle by voting at an outpost, your current treasure grade will increase the amount of allegiance you receive. You can even choose to sail as an emissary while also representing your faction, potentially netting even greater rewards. The higher your emissary grade, the more your hourglass of fate will be worth when you choose to leave your faction.
You just heard probably the newest #1 way to actually earn gold and reputation and everything in this game. The #1 way of grinding is this. The hourglass with the emissary flag now is pretty damn good.
With Season 8, we're also adding 2 new alignments for the captains of the Sea of Thieves. Complete the milestones to unlock new trinkets, crests, and other faction-themed cosmetics. And as you build up allegiance with one or both factions, you'll unlock some spectacular rewards for both sides.
That is actually very true. These are some fire-ass figureheads, especially Flame Hearts. God, that's badass.
At Allegiance level 100, you'll also gain access to special faction-only parts of the Athena's Fortune Tavern, or the Reaper's Lair.
Let's fucking go. Finally. Not only do we get a look inside Reapers, but there's also new areas in Athena's Fortune hideout, which is, God, it's like a blessing. Finally. This is really cool, but what's even cooler is the Reaper's hideout one, which looks absolutely awesome. I have no idea what's going to be down here, besides the ability to obtain something, but that thing that you can obtain will come on shortly in the trailer. Just be patient, just a little bit.
So long as you're also a pirate legend or level 75 Reaper, that is. These secret areas offer a number of exclusive rewards, some of which are literally life-changing. The Guardians of Fortune will grant you the blessing of Athena's fortune. Allowing you to take on the look of the various apparitions found within the Sea of Thieves.
I saw this shit and I busted a nut. A ghost curse is finally in the game after a while of waiting. Like, there's no other way to put this, right? I need this. Like, this is mandatory for me to get. Mandatory for my Sea of Thieves character to have. I need this. I'm hoping there's more forms of it, like maybe half of the body is the human form and half the body has that ghost form. But regardless, I need this, and holy shit, finally.
And if you travel into the Reaper's Lair, far below the Reaper's hideout.
And of course there's one for the Reapers too, which honestly could be better than the previous one. I'm just biased. But still, finally the wait is now done. We have a skeleton curse. and I'm actually amazed. A ghost and skeleton curse in the same update? Well, good job, Rare. Well, very well done. But we get another look at Reapers, cool, and a new character called the Bonesmith. Hopefully there's more new ones, but he basically allows you to customize your curse, or whatever it is. I look at some customized ones already, and I'm sure there's more they haven't shown us.
With a new season comes new rewards, with over 100 levels of incredible items to unlock.
Here's a zoomed in picture of the Plunder Pass and what we'll be getting. A lot of stuff is, again, focused on Flameheart. For godforsaken reason, I can't get better quality than this horse shit, but you have to deal with it. A lot of stuff is just focused on Flameheart and skeletons, stuff like that. I see skeletal tattoos, weapons, face paint, stuff like that. There's also phantom weapons and tools. It's all pretty cool, and it's free, so there's your plus.
There's even new emissary rewards. So there's boatloads of shiny new goodies to
Captain Flameheart's own cutlass and hat is a big W.
strive for.
The next 30 seconds goes over the rest of the Plunder Pass, which you have to pay for. It is pretty cool. It's all themed after ravens, and it does look nice. I think the best part of it is the costume itself, but no one really uses costumes because you can't customize any of it. It's one piece. It does look pretty cool though. I don't know why Sea of Thieves doesn't have its own mask thing, but they should really. Oh my God! Ancient coin. I'm not gonna get any of this stuff, but the figurehead is really pretty. There's a fairy costume for those who like to roleplay a little too much. This is all Pirate Emporium stuff, by the way. I really do like that squirrel trinket with the nut, with the acorn. For some reason, I really like this squirrel. Fuck's this guy doing? And then, you know, more battle stuff, showing it off, all that stuff. Again, it's just around the big battle. That's really what it's going to be, mostly. And I think that comes to the end of the trailer. Yup, that's it. Season 8. I think that they did really well with this trailer. But I will say, throughout the video, you could hear me say, like, finally, oh, we finally have this, finally have that. I feel like every season releases stuff that we've been waiting on for too long, and it's always stuff that either we've been waiting on for too long, or that should have been already in the game. But now it's new content, and I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing the game myself, and actually see the update when it's out, face to face with me, while I stare into its big gigabyte eyes. But I do have a love and hate relationship with this game. It's not for any specific reason, but I will say, I want this stuff, and it's going to take a journey. So if you want to come back and watch that journey on the channel, feel free to. But for me and this video, that's all. Thanks for watching, and subscribe.